Hey, it's your buddy Peace and Harmony with you here today. We are zooming in and we are focusing in on a very important concept. And I want to give a quick shout out to all of you who are diving deep and rising above narcissistic, abusive relationships, hurtful relationships, relationships with personality disordered individuals, whether they be borderline, whether they be psychopathic, whether they be obsessive compulsive, sexually abusive, physically abusive, emotionally abusive. There's quite a bit of overlap sometimes that we see in personality disordered individuals, and they tend to take out and project a lot of these wounds which are existing and living and breathing within them, and they inflict it onto others. And this hurt then begins to take on almost a secondary life, a second life within the individual. You become a carrier for their negative, unprocessed, unworked out energy. And so oftentimes it's very negative in nature. And you, as the individual, are trying to process and make the best out of this experience within a personality or character disordered individual, such as we see with a covert narcissist. And oftentimes, if you are in a close, intimate relationship with this person, you then have to survive and adapt. You then learn to identify with this abuser. You then learn to not only identify with them, but then internalize or take in the negative messages that you received and feel that you are to be less than, you are to feel wounded, you are to feel inadequate, you are to feel out of place. You're to feel so injured inside that you then begin to use them as a measuring stick and then try to keep yourself on the same level and please them in order to really keep really a homeostasis or a balance in your life. And when we use the other narcissist or the diseased individual, and I'm just going to use that word right now, as a measuring stick, you constantly evaluate your life as it compares or relates to them. So oftentimes there's this evaluation of yourself as it relates to them. And then you might even equate yourself as being psychologically sick, psychologically wounded, impaired, crippled, not able to function in a specific manner. I'm never going to make it. Look how diseased or disordered this person is. So you tend to almost have an overarching or almost like a blanket effect that I must be equal to, I must be, since I'm, from this person, or I'm married to this person, or I'm, a child of this person, I must be a carrier for this. I must have inherited these faulty genes, this disordered chemistry, this feeling of I'm over-perceiving, under-perceiving, or I'm hearing things that I shouldn't, I'm feeling things that I shouldn't, I'm seeing things that I shouldn't, and I'm not able to relate to others in a healthy manner. I don't feel socially adept. I don't feel socially adequate. I feel like I'm on the fringes. I feel like I can't keep it together. I feel like, I'm busting apart at the seams, and somebody please anchor me, somebody please save me. And then I need to look up to others to be healthy, and I constantly feel like I need others to give me the lessons that I need. And so there's this feeling of dependency that comes from being in a relationship, either a marriage, especially a family, where really, there's this your inner circle, and these people are really your teachers, your guides, your mentors, if you will. And then, it's kind of like you're being led by this wound. You're being led by this feeling of inadequacy. You're led by this personal character disorder, and it makes you feel like your life is going askew, or it's never going to be solid. You're never going to be in the land of promise. You're never going to be in the good life. You're never going to be living like quote unquote everybody else, or you're not going to be living in sort of this happy place where all the joys of life are meant to be yours, and you feel connected to life in the bigger picture. So I oftentimes really feel that this then develops a higher consciousness or a higher awareness, which you should really actually be grateful for. Really living through this chaos and this hectic experience creates a very frantic, really sort of tattered feeling inside, feeling kind of really pulled apart, ripped apart, kind of like all the pieces don't really add up. It doesn't really come together. I feel very, I'm feeling like fabric that is just ripped and worn and frayed, and just as if it can't hold, it can't hold the inner structures, really the inner thread of a personality just becomes so tangled within, this person, that you can't really kind of feel the quality of your own personality fabric. And this becomes almost like a measuring stick. Again, it's as if the quality of this person becomes so important for you to compare yourself against, or to, really kind of pull and manifest your development according to what they expect for you. So if they're expecting the worst for you, or not giving you the love, not giving you the attention, not giving you, not giving you the love, not showing you the that sort of interdependence where you're feeling like you and them are one, you're setting yourself up for failure, or really that inner drive is setting you up for the feeling of experiencing failure. So I want you to understand that this disordered individual, I want you to see if you have used this person as a measuring stick for you. And so in other words, I'm a failure because I couldn't take care of them. I'm a failure because I couldn't please them. I'm a failure because I couldn't become this person, this quote unquote good boy, good girl, good spouse in their eyes. I never fulfilled their promise. I never fulfilled their expectation. Their vision for me I never was, I'm such a disappointment, that I was never able to be this person who they wanted me to be. But if you realize that oftentimes that is a positive, because really the covert narcissist wants you to be an extension of them to satisfy their needs. So really when we talk about true life and true healthy relationships and strong and stable relationships, that person should want you to be who you are, not to be forcing them, not forcing you to be someone that they need. Do you see the difference? It's a very fine line, but it's actually a very bold line. And it's very delicate, but it's very, very pronounced. And it has very important consequences moving forward, that you don't use this person as a measuring stick. And this really goes for a lot of the narcissistic relationships, because the narcissist really perceives relationships as an extension of them. And they only evaluate you how well you can satisfy their needs, how well you can mirror back to them how wonderful they are, how talented they are, how intelligent they are, and what good feelings you can give them, whether it's affection, appreciation, love, kisses, hugs, how well you can serve them the meals, how well you can make them look in the limelight. So it's this very sort of deep, superficial relationships that they need you to look a certain way, be a certain way. It's very, contingent on very specific issues, and it's very iffy. It's, if you are this, then that. So that's why we see that these relationships oftentimes don't work through, they seem to frazzle or be frayed through the years, because it's based on their needs and not really the true you, which you have to honor. I mean, your soul and your personality is who it is. Your talents, your interests, your loves, your passions are what they are. You might love to cook, you might love to travel, you might love to read, you might love to garden, you might love to sing, you might love to dance, and then that puts the attention on you to see how, they need to be able to adore you. They need to be able to reflect back to you. They need to be able to applaud you in your life and the things that you want, that are, part of your inherent fabric. So when I talk about kind of like your own threads of, fabric of your personality, you have kind of your own foundation. There's a fabric to you. There's a fiber to you. There's a value to you that you are about. I know it's kind of a strange analogy, but there's a certain core to you. There's a certain personality fabric or fiber of your being. I think that's what we're trying to get about, is that there's a fiber of your being that's really part of you, which is calling out for expression, calling out for love. And you feel in touch with this when you feel bliss, when you feel joy, when you feel excitement, when you feel you want to watch this television show or go to this theater or go to this symphony or go to this part of the world or engage in this practice. There's part of you that's drawn to this. So that's really what I'm calling the inner fiber of your being. I guess that's the word for it. And part of you feels like you're not able to be in touch or live with that, almost like a soul amnesia or a life amnesia where you're not able to be there. But there's a wonderful poem, and I think I'm going to think of it now, and I think it's called Footprints in the Sand. And it's really when, the poet is saying, there was a time in my life, God, when I looked back in my life and there was only, you had abandoned me. There were no footprints. And basically the poem is saying that then their higher consciousness, the higher awareness, which is with you the whole while, because while you're alive, the creator is there with you. Your creator is there. I mean, you have existed. You have an infinite part of you, which is your soul, and that's like a whole nother topic in a whole, religious or spiritual awareness. But basically, it's saying, why did you abandon me? Why were you not there? And it's, that is when I carried you. That is when I was with you the most. And it's very difficult to sort of absorb that within your own mind, to feel when you were abandoned. How can you feel that the creator was there with you the whole time? And I think if you can use the understanding that the life has given you that experience for you to observe and to reflect upon and to grow from. So if you can really sort of understand that this hurtful time was a gift, even though you're like, why would I have to learn from something so hurtful, so painful, such a struggle, it's because it has now called you to awaken up this real part of your voice and become so close in touch with it that it's meant to really empower you moving forward and to get your life hold even stronger within you, your faith, your belief in yourself, your trust in yourself, that I am, and it's a self-validating connection. And I know we're talking about some really deep stuff, and much love to you who are doing this hard work and walking this walk with grace, integrity, and dignity, who are able to come through this and really begin to understand that then you absorb really that guide stick and that measuring stick within yourself, and that you really, because of your awareness of this higher self, you should really begin to self-evaluate and self-validate and give yourself so much appreciation and gratitude for having worked it through. Because now, if you're here in this part of your life, you're actually doing the work. You're working it through. You're processing the experience, and you're alchemizing it, coming out ahead, because through the work you are stronger. And now you're evaluating yourself through your gratitude, through your perseverance, through your motivation, through your I am, and you're coming through now vibrant rather than wounded, and you're coming through now alive rather than evaluating yourself as a wounded survivor. You're now evaluating yourself as a thriver, but furthermore, you're not just a victim, you're a victor, because you're realizing that this experience was a gift to you. And it's made you and alchemized you to become a stronger, deeper, richer, basically it's creating a more profound, strong place within you. And that really is spiritual strength. So don't use the covert narcissist as a measuring stick. Don't use the disordered individual as a measuring stick. Let go of that evaluation that they have placed onto you. Instead, embrace more of what really makes you alive, what is your passion, what makes you tick, because that is your true strength, your true identity, your true passion, your true I am. Peace and harmony with you here today. I hope these videos do help. Please share and please subscribe for more great tools, videos, discussion, and support.